when somebody's making a decision at work, if they're feeling fear, these choices and these decisions a lot of times are moving the business in totally different directions. So it's even more important that when people are making these decisions that they're not making it from a state of fear. People are, their body is so stressed and they're so frustrated, they're so worried, and in their body, and their mindset is the same way. But now they're having to make decisions, have to do meetings, have to go ahead and analyze their business and look at strategies, all within that state of mind, state of being. And so then we ask, like, well, what effects is gonna make? It's everything. It's like being mad and talking to somebody, and how the way you're going to talk to them, the words you're going to use, everything's going to be so different than if you're cheerful and happy.
True.
So, and that's the biggest thing. It's like, I imagine what I want to do for people is like, man, help people just feel better in their body and be calm, and then be in a state of peace in their mind. And it doesn't matter what they do. Everything that they do would be better. Definitely. From their work to their decisions they're making to their personal life, their relationships. Everything will be better. They just literally need to fix that foundational thing, which starts inside of them in the way they feel and in the way they think. The perception of the way they think, mindset is one thing, but mindset is like, it's like you have certain information that allows you to think in a certain way. But there's also this. You've met somebody before that no matter where you take them, it's a nice restaurant, it's awesome people, wherever it is, they're always looking for something that could be better. They're always complaining about something. They're always saying, you take them to the best restaurant, 5-star, and they're like, that's a weird ass painting. Why would they use this painting at this nice restaurant? You're just like,
or you're driving through Big Sur in a convertible with the music and like, oh, that music is too loud. Oh, my hair is blowing in the wind. I'm like, yeah, like you're on the edge of the universe.
Yeah,
like, just
look at everything else, how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
You complain about your hair.
Come on. Yeah.
But then vice versa. There's the other person that no matter where you take them, they're always enjoying themselves. You can take them to a little shack, and they're like, oh, this is a cool shack. I've never been in one like this. And they're kind of, and so the question goes, what determines what someone looks at? Because both is true. Yeah, the person's comparing about the hair because it is flying all over the place. Or, the shack is interesting.
But it's still about perception, again.
Yeah, what determines which one they look at? And the perception that they see through is 100% dependent on the energetic vibrational frequency that's operating in the body. And I say this because a lot of people think this is the body and this is the mind. No, you're still pointing to your body.
Yeah.
Right? The whole body is like everything. And that is like equivalent. The frequency in someone's body, the energy that's flowing in somebody's body, and the mindset, the perception that somebody's looking at is completely 100% aligned. And energy is starting to become this thing that people are starting to look at. They're getting a little more familiar, but it's not something that they can relate to for how they feel, for what they're doing. It's not yet hit the masses yet, but it's starting to. And what I'm sharing with people is that the frequency energy in somebody's body, or in other words, on a practical level, the way somebody feels is directly affecting their perception. And so why would somebody ever be okay with feeling stressed? But we know as entrepreneurs, feeling stress is like running into an obstacle at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's welcome to business.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing, right? But yet, every time when people are feeling stress, it's changing the way they're seeing everything. They have this filter of stress, and now it's altering decisions. So if someone's trying to go and hit a new mark, I was watching this video, a couple of videos on your channel, and you're asking students like, all right, last time you made this amount of money, it was like $4,000 a day. Have you hit a bigger mark? Oh yeah, I've hit a bigger mark. I've hit 7. You're like, oh shit. And so it's like, what mindset do they have to be, right? To believe that they're able to make more, take the action in order to hit that next mark. It's all in the mindset, which is directly tied to the way they feel.
And that takes me to my next question, which is around belief. Because I believe that my students, well, not just my students, but everybody in life, if you want to achieve greatness in the world, or if you just want to achieve any specific thing, I believe that you must first believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, like really believe that it's going to happen or that it's possible in order to even get there. Otherwise, it's all kind of like just it's pointless.
Yeah.
So when it comes to health and even just your own experience in success, like how important is belief, and how does a person go about achieving through believing in themselves?
The same way.
Especially if they don't yet believe in themselves, which I think most people don't. They struggle with that.
They have to be able to. It's exactly the same rules. Exactly the same rules. Somebody that did it in business, so use the same mindset, the same belief, and do it in health or in anything else. Somebody's got to believe that they're able to get the results. They have to be able to embody themselves as as somebody wants to be lean and muscular and have this athletic body. They have to be able to see themselves as that person.
What about the people who have like parents and friends who don't support them and say, oh, you're never going to amount to anything, or like, oh, you're getting scammed over here. What are you thinking? You know, you got kids you need to be worrying about, and you're throwing your money away at this, or like you're not smart. These people are smart. You know, these are like whiz kids, and you're fooling yourself. You know, like I've never experienced that myself. I was fortunate enough to have my mom and my family who were always supportive of my ambitions, goals, dreams. You know, like they believed in me even if they didn't have a reason to. They just did it because they love me enough. You know, but I encounter people all the time. You know, people on Facebook who will write in and share with me literally screenshots of the conversations that they've had with their mom or with their spouse, where they're just hammering them, and I'm like, wow, that's true. Like, how do you deal with that when you don't have a healthy environment, a supportive environment, and you don't even know how to think positively or how to believe in yourself or how to tell yourself that story or undo that program, that negative mindset, those negative thoughts, that keep coming through, that voice in your head. How can somebody like that deal with traverse over from not believing to believing in themselves? Is there a way?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a principle and there's a principle for mindset that I really like for something like that. And it's really simple. It's let people have their own experience in life. And it's thinking in that way because someone can think of a lot of different ways to kind of help them strive for what it is that they want in this scenario. Mm-hmm. But what happens though is that even if they are getting what it is that they want, they have this resentment against the people that didn't encourage them, that didn't support them. They start to get into this, well, you know what, Mom, Dad, I'm going to show you. Mm-hmm. The naysayers, I'm going to go ahead and work hard and hustle, and then afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and show you how much I am. I'm going to prove to you and all this stuff. And I know this personally because almost my entire life was fueled that way. Mm-hmm. And so, do they get the results? Yes, they get the results. The energy, the mindset, the motivation that's driving them to get the results is coming from this need to validate and this need for acceptance. And so,
and like getting them back, sort of like putting them in their place and elevating themselves.
So it's all ego boosts, right? Yeah. And so they'll get results, but it's not a good way. At some point, they'll have to let go of that, and then they have to go and check everything. And they made a lot of decisions all based on that. Mm-hmm. But if they think in another mindset, which is let people have their own experience of life, then when someone doesn't agree with a person, it's okay because they're having their own experience, their own journey. I'm having mine. So therefore, what it does is it basically gives a person permission to do something that is different or that might not be supported by people, because they realize that everybody has their own path. And at that point, they don't have to go and judge somebody else as like, hey, you don't believe in me, or you're doing a path that's not good. My path is better than your path. No. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own experience.
So even if this person is not allowing you to have your own experience, they're trying to force their opinions onto you, you can still like turn the other cheek and say, well, that's fine.
Turn the other cheek.
You're the one that has a problem. I'm okay with where I am. I'm happy where I am, and just kind of.
And at this point, if they don't accept it, if they're like, whoa, hey, every day, I'm going to tell you why you're not making the right decisions, then that's a time to go ahead and just go the other way, let go of this person.
And what if it's a spouse and you're locked into a marriage? You think there's like this ultimate point where you just gotta like turn away and step away. It's hard for people though. Like what if it's your mom? You love your mom, but same thing. So what do you recommend doing in these really like situations?
Really, it's like understanding, like agreeing to this is one thing, right? Of course, yeah, walk away. But then actually doing it is different. So somebody's got to really embody this, right? It's like everybody knows, health and fitness is important, it's taking care of myself, but they don't actually do the action because they don't embody it. And so the question becomes like, how to actually take action on it? How does someone to be able to realize this information? Because everybody agrees with it for the most part. But to be able to do that, they have to be able to start off by reprogramming the body. They have to let go of the fear. All negative emotion is under the umbrella of fear, which is under the umbrella of attachment, which is under the umbrella of I don't feel enough, I don't have enough, I am not enough, and I need this business in order to make me feel better. I need these people to support me in order for me to feel that I'm validated. I need this woman, this man to love me so this way I can feel loved. And the reason why behind all this and more is because I don't feel enough as it is. I don't feel I'm a good person. I don't feel that I'm worthy to live. I don't feel that I'm worthy to follow my own dreams. I don't feel that I'm worthy to go ahead and get the things that I want in my life. I don't feel worthy of any of it.
So they can only, their words can only penetrate you if you have your own belief that is sort of like along with what their belief is.
So they have to be able to feel that. And so everything, so become that. Everybody's now on law of attraction. Attract this and attract this, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. And so when people start to become that person that doesn't need all these things, then now they're able to go and walk away from somebody that's not supporting them. They're able to walk away from their mother who is going, son, I told you, mom, I love you, but I have to follow my own life.
And I think that's part of it, Mike, too, is that, is to remove some of the pain from that experience by saying, listen, okay, maybe you recognize that in her own way, your mom still loves you, even though she's harping on you constantly. It doesn't mean that you have to like sever your relationship with your mom. It just means that maybe you spend less time with her.
Bingo.
Maybe you don't get on the phone, every day. Maybe you get on the phone once a week. And when you do, as soon as, you make shorter calls, and as soon as she starts harping on you, say, okay, mom, I love you, but I gotta run, and make the connection times shorter and shorter and shorter. And you're dictating in your own life that voice from the outside. So I look at it like this. You got two voices. One's in your head. Well, this is the third one. And then the voice coming from outside. And you are in control of all of those. You're in control of the thoughts in your mind, the voice in your head, what you listen to internally. And you're also in control of the people that you surround yourself with and the voice that you allow to penetrate in. And you're talking about another way of doing it, which is to let the voice be there, but don't allow it to penetrate you because, you're impervious to it because inside of yourself that doesn't matter what they say.
It's back to the mind and body. It's getting the body to let go of the sensation of fear, the emotions of fear, the emotions of not being enough and all the stuff, the emotions of lack and stress. Letting go in the body. That is the basis. Because a lot of people don't realize, people heard of conscious mind and subconscious mind, right? Subconscious mind is under the surface, it's belief system, it's preferences. People don't realize that the subconscious mind is the body. That is one of the biggest things. I didn't realize that for many years. This is something I've learned after leaving Six Pack over the past 5 years. Our subconscious mind, the one that's running the show, the one that is the program that is running who we are, our belief system, what we like, our goals, our preferences, everything, to the way we walk, to the way we move. 90 to 95% of our mind, which is the subconscious mind, is directly connected to the body. When the body changes, the subconscious mind directly changes.
So this is not to say, however, that if you have a six-pack, that your mind is perfect. It's just saying that like on some deeper level, the body. I went to did some kind of body work thing where they were looking at the alignment of my back even, and they say you're out of alignment here, and this is probably due to some thoughts that you're experiencing or something along those lines, so that there's direct correlations. People can say that they can read your meridians and all this stuff, and that it ties into your subconscious mind. So I find that really interesting too. It's like a deep rabbit hole, to go down, but
big time,
very
man.
fascinating.
Having a six pack does not mean that somebody's body is healthy, nor does it mean that their mind is healthy. Literally, somebody can have a six pack and their body is all jacked up and their mind is scared as shit. No self-belief. And they have a six pack. How does that happen? Well, because somebody's fat and they go, man, I want to get in shape. Man, if I had abs, if I had the body, I'll be so confident and all this stuff. So then they work their ass off, right? They develop enough willpower and structure to actually get in the gym or actually work out. And then now they have a six pack, they have a nice body. So now they're still afraid. You're like, what are you afraid of? They're afraid of not having the six pack. They're afraid of gaining a little extra fat. It's like you have no money. So what are you afraid of? You're afraid of not being able to pay the bills for this place. You're not able to pay the rent and get food. So now you have a shitload of money. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of the stock market crashing. You're afraid of your investments going under. You're afraid of bad deals. You're afraid of bad partners. You're afraid of all this stuff.
Yeah.
You see, that's the thing that people aren't seeing, is that they think I'm just going to change this outside thing and everything's going to change. But if somebody has this innate fear inside of them, that's their mindset. It doesn't matter if they're in paradise or they're in a shit place, their filter in which they see things is still the same. And if somebody has a crappy body, they build a good body, but they never let go of this lack of self, then they will still look at their body and then they'll still look at it through this lack of self. And it just becomes, oh man, I have a six pack, but shit, I don't have an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Damn, I need to get rid of this little bit of skin so I can get an 8-pack. Oh man, God, and they beat themselves up because they're eating extra calories and all this stuff because they're trying to get that 8-pack. This is the real thing. For somebody who's like, it's like weird, but trust me, man, I've been in fitness forever. This is a real thing. This is the same phenomenon as like these skinny girls. They're like, oh my God, girl, God, I need to get rid of this muffin top. And then this other girl looks at it and like, what muffin top, bitch? It's like, fuck you. It's like, it's the same idea. It's all in here. It's nuts.
So let me ask you, do you have a clear why, or do you even know what I'm talking about in your life? Like, what pushes you? Why is it that you wake up in the morning and you work so hard in your life to get where it is that you're going? You have a clear why? Yeah. Can you share it with me?
Oh yeah. So it's an interesting story because when I left Six Pack, I didn't have a why.
So maybe we should talk about that real quick. So you're no longer with Six Pack Shortcuts. That was years ago, right?
Yep.
When you kind of like
about like 4 years, 5 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're off on your own, doing your own thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I left, it was to go ahead and find the secret to happiness. Find out how to be able to continuously feel this super, super happy state that I was feeling. But then it just became the why. You're asking about the why. I was just training myself. I was hacking into my consciousness and my body and diving deeper than I ever have before. But I didn't have this really strong why to go and like live. And it was the weirdest thing. I remember sitting there, and if I died, I would be perfectly fine and happy. Like it didn't even matter. I know I'm not gonna actually disappear. I'm gonna go off to the next place and all this other stuff. And so it's just like, I wasn't angry, but I was peaceful, but I wasn't motivated to live. Yeah. And then I had to find my why in order to actually start to become driven to do something again. Before I was just kind of just hanging out. And so my why, I realized, is everything that I've learned, I want to share this with people. My why is to go ahead and help people understand about their body and mind. So this way they can be healthy and happy.
What is it that you get out of that, out of sharing this information, and do you get something out of it?
It's my most natural expression. It's like asking somebody like, what do you get out of eating? It's like I eat because it feels good. It's like just something I do without having to think. It's a natural expression. Or why does someone talk at this tonality? You know,
it's who you are, more or less.
There's different levels of consciousness. Sometimes people do things because they feel like they have to do it because everybody's forcing them to do it. And then somebody feels like they're doing it because like this is what they're meant to do. I'm on this earth to do this.
Yeah, it's a mission.
And then as they rise in levels of consciousness, there becomes less force in what people are doing, like that's driving them to do it, and then people just start to naturally do things. This is what we call really being in the flow, when someone just starts to naturally express who they are. It's like, why did you wear this shirt today? Oh, I wore the shirt today because based on the lighting in the room, you know.
Purple is power, and I want to express power.
I'll pop out with the background, you know, and plus it went well with the pen, and so I had this figured out, so that's why I wore it, right? Or then, same question, why'd you wear the shirt today? It's, you know, because I just felt like wearing a purple shirt. I looked at the purple shirt felt good for me, so I put it on, that's it. The end result is you have a purple shirt on. Or someone said, well, same question, why'd you wear a purple shirt? Oh, well, because, you know, your filmographer called you and go, hey, Gerry, wear that purple shirt, okay?
Everybody's wearing white.
If you don't wear that purple shirt, we're not gonna shoot. That's how important it is. You need to wear that freaking shirt.
All right, geez.
So on the outside, someone's wearing a shirt, but you see there's 3 entirely different motivations.
Yeah.
And one motivation is based on fear. If you don't wear the purple shirt, man, we're not gonna film today. Bad. Right? The second one is like based on all these reasons. Oh, I'm doing this because it fits this.
All your logical mind, yeah.
And then the third one is simply because you feel like doing it. It's just your most natural expression today. You feel like purple.
Yeah.
Right? Today you feel like that necklace, right? And it's a natural thing.
Yeah.
This is based on someone's level of consciousness. When someone is at a low level of consciousness, they feel like they're being forced for everything. Yeah. I have to be forced to do this, I have to do this. I'm doing this because all this fear-based, lack-based, I'm being controlled. I have to do it. And then when they go up higher, it becomes, this is my purpose, and I'm driving, that's my fuel to do it. And then when we get up to a higher one, effortless. Why am I wearing purple? Because I felt like wearing purple. Why did I go to this restaurant? Because I wanted to go there and eat. Why are we having this conversation? Because I like you, you're cool. That's it. Not like, oh, well, because of all the metrics and I read you and did all these studies. You see, so the outcome looks like it's the same, but it's all based on intention. And as you know, as an entrepreneur, intention and what you're really after, the why, it's what makes the difference completely.
No.
You know?
Because you're in a state of peace and a state of ease, and you feel like your whole experience in life resonates through you because you are where you're supposed to be. This is where you feel good.
Yeah, basically. And you feel natural and like authentic. And so we stop. Not only do we not let everything else force us to do things, but we stop forcing ourselves. So many people, it's one or the other. I'm being forced by all this stuff. These people don't believe in me, and I got to do it and work hard and make all this money. Or I feel like I'm not a good person. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be unless I'm doing these things. So I'm going to force myself to do it.
What is this, if you had to say, I mean, it's probably a million different things, but if you had to like narrow it down to do the 80-20 principle, what's the majority of the choices that you've made in your life that have helped you navigate to this place that you are right now, where you're at that top tier, or you feel in most parts of your life you're kind of at that top tier where you're in the right place, you're in the right state of mind all the time? Is this through a meditative process? Is this just through life, learning?
It's a practice. So when I first started, when I first left Six Pack, it's because I experienced this level of happiness that was beyond anything I've ever experienced. Nothing came close. I was entirely 100% foreign to that state, like I've never experienced it. And it's like,
which state is that? Okay, explain again.
So it's like this. We ask somebody, hey, are you happy? Scale of 1 to 10. And let's say they go, about 5 or 6 right now. I'm okay. I'm not jumping for joy, but I'm not sad. So then if they can gauge, let's say at a 6, then that would mean that the 10 is a reference point that they've experienced. It's a happiness that they know of. If not, how can they have to be able to gauge it, right? They have to have a reference point. So imagine someone's 10. So that's the same thing like me. Now imagine if they experience a higher level of happiness, something that they never experienced before. So that's basically what happened. I had my 1 to 10 in happiness in the way I felt, but suddenly I experienced level 1000.
Guys, thank you for joining me for part 2 of this 3-part series with Mike Chang. In the next episode, Mike is going to be sharing with you his secret to happiness.